All right. Well, we are live and streaming and ready with the incredible world's greatest formulator, Shawn Wells. Shawn Wells, thank you so much for being here on Life Lounge podcast on our live Q&A Inside Life Network that's going to stream across all of our platforms today. So grateful to have, number one, met you in Austin in person, and then number two, just your time today to answer all these questions coming in.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on. I'm very excited to answer questions. I love this stuff. I never get bored of it. If a conversation happens in an airport, on an airplane, while I'm traveling somewhere, while I'm at the gym, I don't care. I love it. I want to talk about it. So let's go.
Mhm. I love it. And I mean, because you you don't just create all of these incredible formulations, like what is it with your 40 plus patents, correct? And like
Yep. Yep.
1,100 product formulations, is that correct? And
That's
probably counting.
correct.
Yeah. So it's like you're not just constantly just doing this just for fun, which I'm sure it is very much fun, but you've also like walked the walk in your own journey of health and like Epstein Barr. So like you can really you very much relate to people who are struggling and can't find answers for things, and they're just like seems to like throw darts in any direction. So no, I appreciate your willingness to help people because you know how it feels.
Thank you. This is absolutely a passion, and it's exactly what you're saying. Like so many of us that you see, like in biohacking, when I used to be big in the keto world and a lot of these different spaces, even I talk about psychedelics, you see people that have been wounded, hurt physically, mentally, and it's their hero's journey
Mm,
that drives them to be the best in their field. And so many of my friends that I speak on stage with have a similar story to me, maybe not my exact health journey with physical or mental woes,
mm.
but certainly something along those lines that's driven them to be so passionate and so elevated in their field.
Oh, for sure. So for those who do not know, some of the things that you have really helped bring awareness and introduce to the world, like paraxanthine, some of these big things. Can you just give people a quick introduction of kind of some of the big things that you started?
Yeah, so as you've named, like, so the energy ingredients, and I know I'm the energy formula guy. That's my best-selling book. That's been a bestseller for several years now, internationally. Been listed on Forbes and USA Today, and we're releasing a video chorus July 1st.
Woo.
That book is all about energy because I had no energy, because I did have Epstein-Barr, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, Hashimoto's, brain tumors, multiple discs removed, multiple points in my life where I was in bed for months at a time. And I know what it's like to barely feel like I can get out of bed and go to the bathroom, crawl to the bathroom.
Wow.
And so interestingly, I've worked on ingredients like T-creen and dynamine, which are incredibly popular in the fat burner and nootropic space. And then more recently, paraxanthine, the branded ingredient Infinity, which is a metabolite of caffeine. Ingredients like beta, an exercise mimetic, ergothioneine, which could be the next new vitamin, which is really cool. Yeah,
Right.
and dihydroberberine, which 5X's regular berberine and outperforms basically every other blood sugar ingredient out there. There's so many ingredients that I've worked on and brought to the market. And I'm just so proud to have the ability to do that, not only with my brain to come up with these cool ingredients, but I have so many brilliant minds, so many businesses kind of built around me to make all this possible.
Exactly. Yeah. And like you said, like you have walked a crazy journey. So you know what it's like. And there are so many supplements out there. And that's the, good thing, bad thing is, we have choice, but there's a lot of bad ones out there. And just how you were distilling, the myths and breaking down, daily, like on your Instagram too. I love following you. You always, and you're not always just like
Thank you.
you're not pushing products, just to push products. Like you formulate the best of the best products in the world, and then you team up with these amazing businesses to launch these because they matter and they make a difference. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And for those who do not know, Shawn is one of our newest contributing experts inside Life
Yeah.
Network. So we are so grateful to have him. We have a lot of his blog articles and videos already inside Life Network. And then in August, Shawn will be here in Boise and I get to interview him in person. So we'll go even deeper, but that's going to be so fun. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
But we do have some questions that have been coming in, Shawn, if you're willing to dive deep into some of these.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so this one has come through. It says, you've said metabolic health is the foundation of all health. What are the top signs of someone's metabolism is struggling, even if the labs look normal?
Ooh, that's a great question. And about 93% of Americans are metabolically dysfunctional. And this is a good point that, yes, sometimes your labs could look normal. Maybe if I feel like I have a sluggish metabolism, what are some of the things I might look at? I might look at testosterone or estrogen, like beta estradiol. And if we look at regular testosterone, which is bound and free testosterone, it could look normal, but really we want to look at free testosterone. But even these hormones, and especially you might want to look at thyroid, your T3, T4, TSH. Those aren't enough, by the way. If you really want to look at thyroid, you have to go way deeper than a basic thyroid panel. There's reverse T3, T4. There's so many layers. There's probably about 10, 15 labs that you could look at for thyroid. Thyroid is very complex. And there's something called the endocrine cascade, where hormones affect other hormones, and it gets very complex. And the body likes to stay in hormesis and appear to be normal. Also, what we're told about normal isn't necessarily optimal. What's within normal limits, WNL on your labs, is not necessarily optimal. That's actually changed. Like say testosterone, it's gotten lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, decade to decade. Where it used to be 800 to 1200, now it's okay to have 200, and that's within normal limits.
Are you kidding?
No, as the population moves, that becomes normal. So again, that's not optimal. But what I will say with all of that could be normal. But what you may be dealing with is suboptimal mitochondria, because behind metabolic health is mitochondrial health. So this is where we might want to look at other labs, things like lipoprotein A's, like my favorite lab to look at for cardiovascular health.
Okay.
Definitely, I don't care that much about cholesterol, especially total cholesterol, LDL, HDL. I think those are very bad markers.
Interesting.
I want to look at hemoglobin A1C for blood sugar glycation, like a longer term marker. Glucose is very transient. I want to look at hemoglobin A1C. And then I also like looking at oxidized LDL to measure oxidation or oxidative stress.
Okay.
And so when I look at, another one is CRP. That is a great measure for inflammation in the body. So I want to look at inflammation, glycation, oxidation. I go through this in my book. These three markers of damage are kind of an easy way to assess your mitochondrial function. So we want to assess our mitochondria, and then two, do some things to ramp up the mitochondria, get more biogenesis going, which means more new mitochondria, and then help the mitochondria function better. So all of that to say, your labs could look normal, but there could be some mitochondrial dysfunction behind it.
Super powerful. And I've heard that before, many times now. I'm in the integrative health space myself, like, quote unquote, normal is not optimal. And if you know something, we know our body, we need to be in tune with our body and how we're feeling. And like, if something feels off and you're just not getting the right answers, like keep digging and keep doing some of these additional tests. And you want to optimize, not just like quote unquote normal, because like you said, like it keeps going down what normal is. So that's horrible. And then also, I've also heard with the cholesterol markers are not necessarily something to tune into. Can you explain that for those who don't know that?
If you look at the data populationally, and that's known as epidemiology, right? When we have these big populational studies, whenever we look at the data on total cholesterol, HDL, which is supposedly the good cholesterol, LDL, which is supposedly the bad cholesterol, which does not make sense. They're all there for a reason. They're all good cholesterol. When we look at those, across all ages, especially those 55 and up, we actually see the higher the cholesterol, the longer the life. So
Really?
this is crazy. When we look at like Eskimos, for example, or the Inuits, and we look at these populations that eat very high fat diets, they have cholesterols in the 600s and zero incidence of heart attack.
Oh,
What
that's
we
wild.
do know is high fat diets plus high glycemic diets are damaging.
That's
And this is what they fail to tell you, even all in all these mouse studies that are HFD, where they give them high fat diets. What they don't tell you is they're giving them one, highly oxidized polyunsaturated fatty acids,
mm.
and two, they're giving them corn syrup
Oh, geez.
or some kind of high glycemic sugar
Yeah, to have a spike.
as their feed, and then they call it HFD. Oh, it's high fat
No,
diet.
no.
Come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
yes, you're giving them a modified fat.
right.
You're giving like a vegetable oil. You're giving them a modified sugar,
Mm.
and then you're saying that this is high fat diets.
Oh, geez.
So this stuff is very frustrating, and cholesterol is probably the greatest farce in the medical industry over the last 30 to 40 years. It has sold so many drugs, and by the way,
Oh, yeah.
people that get on these statins end up having higher mortality risk,
I know, I heard that too. This so it's like a
and they
circle.
have more incidence of heart attacks. They have the side effects of lowered CoQ10, more muscle spasms, more mitochondrial dysfunction. That's where CoQ10 matters in the mitochondria and the electron transport chain.
Okay, okay.
It's frustrating.
It's very frustrating, especially for the normal person who's just gonna see, their everyday doctor, and their doctor is like, "Nope, we're gonna put you on a statin because your cholesterol's high," and then good luck, basically. It's so sad.
Dude, and they don't really know any better because that's what they get told by their pharmaceutical sales rep, and then they get incentives, and it's all a scam.
That's a very good point because that's what they were told and taught. So, okay. So then I want to dive into there's one that kind of piggyback off of that one. Um, so this one is what's your favorite stacker protocol for supporting mitochondria in women over 40?
Well, when it comes to mitochondria, I don't know that it's very gender specific. There are some gender specific supplements that I could recommend for the aging male or female, but specifically around mitochondria, I don't know that I would break it out by gender. The things that I would look at is one that I mentioned before, L-ergothioneine.
Okay.
So when we look at the branded form Mitoprime, it's a pure fermented form of L-ergothioneine. This is an antioxidant that doesn't work on the cellular level, where we found many antioxidants actually have kind of data that's counter to health because antioxidants can become pro-oxidant at certain points. They can interfere with signals for inflammation or recovery that are needed, or they can impair the breakdown of cancer cells potentially. So antioxidant data can sometimes be confusing and counterintuitive, but this one works at the mitochondria specifically, and there's a unique transporter for L-ergothioneine. So I love L-ergothioneine. I love CoQ10, specifically ubiquinol. As you age, you need this form, not ubiquinone. You need ubiquinol. It's the optimized form. PQQ is the kind of sister chemical to CoQ10.
Okay.
And then maybe from there, I would look at the glycation, oxidation, inflammation that I mentioned, and I would probably add dihydroberberine
Yeah.
as the most powerful anti-glycation aid. It's better than berberine, about
Right.
5 times more bioavailable, lasts about twice as long in the plasma. And then for inflammation, I might look at things like CBD, CBG, some of these cannabinoids. I also like an optimized curcumin or its metabolite tetrahydrocurcumin. These are great. So, looking at inflammation, looking at glycation, Ceylon cinnamon is also another favorite of mine, as is chromium
Yeah.
to pair with dihydroberberine. And then specifically on the mitochondria, like L-ergothioneine, CoQ10, and PQQ.
Okay, that's incredible. I love how you bring the education behind every single one of these things instead of just being like, "You need to take this," and, like, this is but, like, you go deep into why. So then kinda speaking a little bit to inflammation then, what about fish oil? Because a lot of people take fish oil for inflammation.
Man, I have gone back and forth on this one over the years. I have
Yeah.
really like it's been very difficult. The data, there's, ethyl ester data, which is kind of the pharmaceutical version of fish oils. There's triglycerides versus free fatty acids. There's EPA versus DHA versus some of the plant-based omega-3s. What I will say is it seems like, and depending on the study, there's been studies that show there's more harm than good. Here's the thing that I would look at. I would look at EPA for cardiovascular health, DHA for brain health
Okay.
specifically. I would look to get 3+ grams of the actual omega-3 a day. And then this is the really important part. Make sure it's coming from clean Nordic waters that
Yeah.
doesn't have the heavy metals.
Yes.
And then two, make sure it's IFOS, IFOS. This
Okay.
is a certification that's the highest level
Mm,
because a lot of these fish oils are rancid and then they kind of deodorize them and bleach them, similar to what we do with canola oil,
oh gosh.
and it's terrible. So we want that molecularly distilled Nordic water IFOS certification if we're going to take these. And I do like taking an antioxidant on top of it, something like astaxanthin
Mm.
as well.
Okay, that's super helpful. And so speaking to like third party testing and things that to look for on labels, because I know that you help to formulate all of these products, is there other than, what you had just mentioned with fish oil, other things that stand out that people need to look for any type of supplement? Red
I
flags.
mean, well, red flags. There's a
Mhm.
lot there. Like as far as certifications, the highest level certifications would be things like NSF for sport or informed choice. That
True.
gets very expensive they test by lot. They quarantine that lot. You have to do twice or three times the level of testing to clear that. Quite frankly, a lot of these formulas are very simple because it gets very expensive. And these are for athletes to have the highest level of assurance when 95% or 99% isn't good enough because you could lose your career, lose your gold medal.
100%.
You could lose your scholarship or
Mhm.
or what have you. So with athletes, I think that is very recommended.
Okay.
Beyond that, the things my watch outs here.
Yeah.
So I want to watch out for proprietary blends. This is when you have a whole slew of ingredients
Yeah.
listed on that supplement facts. And it'll say the muscle and energy blend or the mitochondrial blaster blend or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Right.
And you have 10, 15, 20 ingredients. And it might say 10,000 milligrams. That first ingredient, it goes in order of descending mass by law of all these ingredients. That first ingredient could be 9,999 milligrams. All the other ingredients, the other 19 ingredients, could be 1 milligram.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is known as fairy dusting and it's legal. It saves you not only a lot of money on the actual ingredients, it saves you a lot on the testing cost. It's very frustrating. I think it's a very dubious practice.
Right.
I recommend do not trust anyone that's doing proprietary blends. Not only do I not want proprietary blends, I want full transparency. So I
Yeah.
want to know the dose of each ingredient, the genus and species of each ingredient, the standardization of the active, the percentage of whatever the active is, and let's say that herb. I want to know the extraction method.
Yeah.
So if it's Panax ginseng, 500 milligrams, root, ginsenoside A, 5%. Okay, now I know everything. Now I know the dose, the genus and species, the plant part, the standardized active.
Right.
Now I can go look it up. I can go on PubMed. I can go on examine.com. I can go find out if
Mhm.
that's a legitimate dose, what the studies are around it.
Okay.
So that's important.
That's super helpful.
Next, Next thing I want to look at is just ridiculous claims. If there's anything like 500% increase in testosterone, 8,000% increase in performance, these are ridiculous. This is not based on research. You can take two numbers that are super small and come up with ridiculously huge percentages based on, like, this one changed in the study 0.1% and this one changed 0.5%. You could say 500% increase. That is illegal. The FDA doesn't like it. Like, so that is very dubious as well.
Okay.
So those are some watch outs.
Those are really, really, really good helpful tips because there's so many claims out there and, we're constantly getting pitched every single day, on Instagram and TikTok and, certain products to take because they're pitched by an influencer and, maybe the influencer, does like it, but they're not really doing the due diligence like like you are behind all of these products.
Agreed.
So then we had somebody ask to go a little bit deeper go back to the high blood pressure. K Knit is saying, do you have any supplement recommendations for people with high blood pressure?
Ooh, I do. This gets into very gray category, I'll say, where technically supplements are only supposed to take you from good to great in terms of the regulatory around supplements.
Mhm.
We're not supposed to get into the drug and disease category.
Mm.
Does it happen in supplements? Yes. They might just say blood pressure supplement, but not make any claims around fixing high blood pressure. So technically, you need to see your doctor,
Yeah.
so on and so on. And there are products that have nitrates, but you need to be very careful if you're already on medication or you're just prone to maybe having what the old term is brittle, like brittle blood pressure or brittle blood sugar means like that you can kind of go high and low very easily because you can pass out. You can like pass out while you're driving. So you have to be very careful with this kind of stuff. One of the herbs that I love here is something called butcher's broom.
Okay.
It's been studied for like varicose veins in particular for women, but it helps with blood flow, blood pressure. I also like nattokinase and serrapeptidase. These are two enzymes that can help break down plaques and fibrinogen in the blood vessels. So clearing out those blood vessels can help. K2, also another great one, in particular the MK7 form.
Hmm.
There are some other things for blood flow that could be helpful that aren't necessarily harmful or at risk, and things like L-citrulline. This is popular with bodybuilders where you get more blood flow. It helps recycle arginine. So probably the last thing that I would play with is something around nitrates, even including the natural herbal ones like from pomegranate or beetroot. I would work with my physician on that.
Okay. Great advice. I really appreciate that. We had one come in about when you dealt with Epstein Barr, overcoming chronic fatigue, and I know this speaks to a lot of people. Unfortunately, I know as well. What was the turning point for you in reclaiming your energy?
Mm.
Mhm.
That's when I really dove into immune health supplements. That was really the genesis for a lot of my new knowledge. Up until that point, until I had that condition, I was mostly trying to increase performance or increase muscle, kind of sports nutrition supplements. But that's when I looked into two powerful compounds for me to change my immune function was L-lysine.
Okay.
L-arginine can actually be the trigger for a lot of immune dysfunction.
Mm.
So be careful, kind of going back to those products and a lot of L-arginine dosing. You can actually trigger immune issues with L-arginine or high arginine foods.
Okay.
L-lysine is kind of the anti-trigger. And that's why you see, even with herpes simplex, you'll see like L-lysine lip balms or L-lysine supplements or but L-lysine, very powerful, especially in high dose, like 3 to 5 grams.
Okay.
The other one that I love that has been the most powerful, I've tried tons of immune supplements, tons. The most powerful for me has been AHCC.
Okay.
Active hexose correlated compound. It comes from mushrooms. It's been studied with immunity, like in particular, the most difficult autoimmune conditions, cancer, et cetera. It is a powerful compound. So
Mm,
if you're struggling with autoimmune issues, that's one to look into. And then going back to all those mitochondrial supplements, those are going to be great too. So PQQ, CoQ10, ergothioneine, and then even the things that increase NAD levels, such as NR or NMN, and then the things that prevent the breakdown of NAD with inhibiting NADAs, so things like fisetin or apigenin or resveratrol, those are going to be helpful as well.
okay. How do you keep all the names straight and all the acronyms of everything? I'm like, I am so glad I get the replay so I can go back and look all of this up myself. I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't know how you do it, Shawn. That's amazing. Okay, so then someone kind of piggybacks off of that one too, about nervous system regulation. How does that play into energy, focus, and burnout recovery?
Let me take a step back. This is probably my favorite question I've ever got in the history of me getting questions,
Oh, I love it.
because this has now become a huge focus for me. When I talk about psychedelics, when I talk about supplements, when I talk about mindset, the nervous system, or as my friend Dr. Stephen Young likes to call it, the electrical system.
Oh
So we
yeah.
don't kind of have a negative NLP connotation to it, a nervous system.
Okay.
The electrical system has everything to do with your outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because if we're in sympathetic consistently, that's fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
When we're parasympathetic, that's rest and digest. Where do you think you're going to be absorbing nutrients, breaking down nutrients optimally, avoiding inflammation, utilizing those nutrients, storing those nutrients correctly?
Very sympathetic.
It's going to be in parasympathetic.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly in fight, flight, or freeze, blood, resources, energy, ATP is all shunted to your survival.
Mm,
And you're overusing energy thinking you're fighting for survival,
right. Fighting
even
the
when there isn't the tiger there, there isn't the lion or the bear there, right?
yeah.
It's your mind that's stuck in loops, that's trying to survive. And so you're not going to optimally utilize these nutrients, right?
Right. Or
And
your
so
like the
that has
food
a
nutrients or the supplements,
exactly,
all of it.
exactly. And then what do you think about burnout? If you're consistently in fight, flight, or freeze, and you're not repairing with things like autophagy, mitophagy, have natural killer cells, have natural detox and cleanup. Senescent cells are put away.
True.
If you're not doing that,
Yikes.
then you're aging faster, you're burning out faster, you're not recovering, repairing.
You're
So
putting on
there's
weight.
several things that are happening here. And
Yeah.
if I take my supplement or I have my meal, what I want to do before I take them, think about this. This is just like when people pray across all cultures, right? Let's
Mhm,
say
mhm,
they close their eyes, right? They
mm,
do a deep breath. Maybe they even hold hands around the table.
mhm.
Thank you, Lord, for this food we're about to receive, or whatever
Right.
the deity is, or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
But they're dropping into parasympathetic.
Mhm.
They're doing an affirmation, telling their mind, their body, that this thing is good that they're about to receive, and it's going to enhance their health.
That's amazing.
So this gets into like the power of like mental and epigenetics with like
Right.
Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yep.
This is so powerful. So before you take your supplement, look at it, get
Mhm.
into parasympathetic, do a breath, say thank you, supplement,
Mm.
for improving my blood pressure. Thank you, supplement, for improving my blood sugar.
Oh my
Thank
god.
you, supplement, for giving me more brain function, more strength,
Yeah.
whatever it is, and watch how much better it is for you.
That is I love that so much, like, because that's such an easy thing that we can do other than, spending, like, 2 hours in meditation every single day, like, we don't all have time for that, but we can take the 5 seconds it takes to say a prayer of gratitude, thanks, and appreciation, and take that breath and receive it in your body so your body can receive it the way it's supposed to be received, so
It doesn't take long. Think about this. I'll do this real quick, real quick.
mhm,
Box breath. a 4-4-4-4 box breath.
Mhm.
If you close your eyes, picture something that is grounding, that's calming to you. It could be the ocean, the mountains, like a favorite pet, backyard, sunshine. Take that breath in, hold, breath out, hold, and there's a box. That took 16 seconds. Now you could do 3 or 4 of those. So you could do a 5 or 6-second box or whatever it is, but that's very easy. One of the things I'd love to do in a meeting, like when I drop in with my team, is
Mm.
to start the meeting that way. It takes a minute and
Mhm.
everyone's in coherence.
It's so true. Yeah, and then they're not kind of in that fight mode that they might be coming in because they might be running in from somewhere, maybe they're late and kind of just resets the tone so they could actually receive and create.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so good. Do you have any other tips like that that might be, to help somebody? I love that, like the prayer, the gratitude, the breath. Any other thing that you do throughout your day that you can think of?
Yeah, you nailed the one about gratitude and mindfulness, just being present. When we're in the future, we have anxiety. When we're in the past, we have uh, concerns and worry and grief. And so if we can just be present, there is like an infinite eternity in the present. And that's where we can be grounded. And literally, that's why we call it present. It's like you are there.
Mhm.
So, where are you going to have the greatest impact is when you devote all your resources into the thing that's happening right now, not
Yeah.
splitting up resources in the past or the future.
Mhm.
And there's definitely a time for those things. It's not wrong, but quite often we're so divided in so many places.
Mhm.
We're multitasking, which is a lie. It's called
Is
task switching,
right.
where we're dividing out like thoughts, like everything has our attentions, this Facebook, that ring, that little buzz on your wrist, the phone, all these things are pulling your attention away. And it takes
Yep.
several minutes to refocus. So this
Yep.
is where deep work only happens when all of those things are turned off and you're
Mhm.
present.
That's so good. I mean, yeah, we live in an incredible day and age with, cutting edge technology that we have at our fingertips and the back of our pockets all the time, but we have to learn how to live beautifully within this age that we are gifted to be a part of. So, those are incredible tips. Do you journal as well?
I do. I love journaling. I
Yeah.
love it. I love dropping in and like just that is a powerful way to get present. Absolutely. Like
Mhm.
seeing it, writing it, thinking about it. Like and then you have gratitude for it. You're kind of planning things out. Go back and read and it drops you right back in. It sharpens your memory. It's so good.
Mm. Oh my gosh. Oh, I already feel better. Thanks for that breath. Okay, so many good recommendations there. So we have some other questions that came in, and I'd love because I know you just put this on your Instagram about dihydroberberine. So Sam is asking, I want to hear your thoughts on berberine, when and why to take it, and should it be taken with other supplements?
So berberine outperformed metformin in a head-to-head study. It is an incredible compound from Indian Ayurvedic medicine. So like the kind of ancient Indian medicine, similar to like traditional Chinese medicine. This is the ancient Indian medicine. But dihydroberberine, its metabolite, has been shown to have 5 times the bioavailability, up to 20 times more effects in what's called area under the curve in the study. And then it lasts about twice as long in the blood plasma. But also, you don't have the GI distress that's associated with berberine. Berberine, there is a lot of bio individuality at the gut level in how it converts. For many people, it causes that GI distress and then may or may not convert well to actually have the desired effect. So when we go directly to dihydroberberine, its metabolite, we bypass that bioindividuality, we bypass that GI distress and gut microbiome potential dysfunction, go right to the active, and then we have a better effect in terms of blood sugar. I've never seen anything be more powerful than dihydroberberine when it comes to optimizing blood sugar. We not only see it decreases blood sugar spikes, but it's also decreasing the blood sugar crashes. So it has kind of an adaptogenic effect on blood sugar.
Wow. Oh, that's powerful. Okay, super helpful. And for those who are not following Sean's Instagram, make sure you are following because he's always dropping just like these bombs of nuggets of wisdom all the time. So I love following him for that stuff. So you're gonna have to train, I don't know, maybe you're in the works on this, your own like AI bot for all of your supplement knowledge, Sean.
For sure.
Seriously. Because we have Ben's AI bot trained already inside Life Network. I'm like, we're gonna need to get
Oh, amazing. Well, actually, this is an AI bot right now. So it's hard to know, right?
It's hard to know. Oh my
It's
god.
getting crazy.
Oh.
All right.
All right. Okay. This is a good one too because I do hear this too. Supplements also always make me nauseated, even when I take them with food. Are there some people who just aren't good supplement candidates, or is there something that might eliminate the issue?
Mm. This is a great one. I used to work for 10 years clinically as a chief clinical dietitian in acute and long-term care. So I'm a biochemist, but also a dietitian.
Wow.
And we would run into this a lot, especially in the elderly when we had so many pharmaceuticals, unfortunately, that they would be on, as well as supplements. They would often have to crush them up, put them into apple sauce or pudding or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it says makes me nauseated, but there could be a few things happening here. There's very few supplements that kind of lead to nausea. Like sometimes iron or some of these minerals can lead to a feeling of nausea, maybe fish oil for some if you take too much. But typically, the supplements themselves don't make you nauseous. It could be that you just don't like taking pills, especially larger capsules. That's typically what I've found is the case.
Okay.
Um, it would be more complicated if it's nausea because then I would say this is largely psychosomatic.
Mm.
And that goes back to what we were talking about with the affirmations, the Dr. Bruce Lipton, the Dr. Joe Dispenza, the NLP. You can change your brain, you can rewire your brain. So, what I would do is exactly what we were talking about before. Like, thank you, capsule. Thank you, God. Thank you, me, for buying this. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to take this. This is going to have a powerful effect on me.
Yeah.
I know that there is, like, and I wouldn't ever mention like this won't give me nausea because the brain tends to go where you tell it to go. So you always want to tell it the positive. So
Hmm.
instead of mentioning nausea or not having nausea, I would say like whatever the desired outcome is, like where I'm going to feel amazing when I take this supplement. I'm going to feel my stomach is going to feel great. My body's going to feel great. I'm going to feel energized. Thank you for the supplement. And in time, it will anchor.
I know.
So, and if it's a capsule and you literally just have a small throat or dysphagia or aphasia,
Hmm.
then that gets into probably taking out of the capsule and
Yeah.
putting it into some kind of other food.
Okay. Or like a liposomal one, just liquid. Okay.
There you go.
And it seems so, I wanna say just easier, or some people probably say silly, like, "I'm not gonna say thank you to my supplements," but it is like the brain is so powerful, and you're exactly right. Even if we say, like, "I'm not gonna be nauseous," like, our brain does start to think about that. So just telling it, like, this is how it's going to feel. So I'm going to feel energetic and powerful and strong, and so
The um the idea of forgiveness is really not so much for the other person, it's for you. And I would say the same is true of gratitude. Does it have a powerful effect if I'm talking to you? Absolutely.
Mhm.
But what does it do for me? It transforms me. It makes me feel like I have so many things going right. There was an author that was trying to do this verse from the Bible. I think it's in the Old Testament about like praying ceaselessly. And he
Yeah,
tried to live it a year that way,
right.
where he wasn't even Christian or Jewish, but he
Yeah,
he decided to live this way.
so cool.
And he said 99% of the things would go right every day in his life. Maybe 1% wouldn't go right.
Mhm.
But when he focused on the 99% and having gratitude for it, that 1% seems so small.
Right.
But when all we do is assume everything's going to go right, and that 1% is so irritating, so
Yeah.
bothersome, figures, this always happens to me. What do you think that does to your brain? You're training your brain.
To think about that. 1% when 99% went right. Oh, it's so powerful, and I do think people are becoming more and more aware of that, thank goodness, but, we do tend to get stuck in a spiral of negativity sometimes, and it's also the people that you're surrounded by too, right? Very much so. But then it starts from within, so taking that moment and of gratitude for yourself and other people.
100%.
Oh, oh, so good, Sean. Okay, another one came in from Ava. What is the most overhyped ingredient you're seeing on the supplement labels right now?
Oof. I'd be curious to know what you see here, like what's hot on, TikTok, what's hot in the stuff. There's been so many ingredients through the years that just did nothing,
Mhm.
or are way overhyped. Um, and then there's ingredients that I love see coming back around, like that are hot right now, like creatine, which
Yes.
deserves so much attention. We thought creatine was just for muscle
Yep.
and it's just about strength and it's a bodybuilder supplement. Now we know it protects the brain, protects the eyes, protects the ovaries and testes. It protects you against cancer, helps remedy TBIs, traumatic brain injuries.
Mm,
When you're underslept, it mitigates the fatigue that you experience. And
gosh.
creatine is absolutely incredible and anti-aging. But to go to a supplement that's kind of maybe like homeopathics, I really just don't know about those. That idea of just these ingredients that are um, in micro doses, like truly, and if they're even there. Then there's some of these products like traditional Chinese medicine where none of them are standardized. So how am I supposed to know whether what they did in the study or what they used 1,000 years ago is what I'm getting now, or even from product to product, lot to lot? And then going back to what I mentioned before, anything that is proprietary blended is hype to me. I would not expect that to work at all.
Mm,
And then I've talked about this. Anything you buy from Amazon, be careful.
mhm.
Now Foods showed that about 80% of the products on Amazon tested short of the label claim. About 20% had no active at all and were completely false. And this includes some of your best brands that are counterfeited on there. So even
True.
the ones that I super trust, like a Thorne or a Muscle Tech and bodybuilding, some of these best in class names that have been around 30 years that we all trust,
Yeah.
there's knockoff versions of them on Amazon. So you have to be careful. You have to buy from the first party. You
Okay.
have to be careful who's making it. So I will just say, if it's a company I've never heard of, it's out for me.
You're like, "No, no, no, no." Yeah, so helpful because I know so many people are like we talked about before, just the hype of seeing things all the time, like, "I'm just gonna purchase this," and it's easy because it's on Amazon and, but yeah, you're just taking some could be just taking a placebo.
So, and if you want to know some of the best in class names, I would say it's like Thorne, Designs for Health,
Mhm.
Pure Encapsulations, Now Foods, Jarrow, Nordic Naturals, Barleans, Life Extension Foundation. These are is a handful right there that I know are going to test out every time.
Someone did ask, what about, I see you recommended bulk supplements on your website. Are you a fan of their EAAs?
EAAs, no. I and same with BCAAs. I really don't think so. EAAs, to back up, is essential amino acids.
Mhm.
There's 9 essential amino acids, and then there's a couple conditional amino acids depending on your body state, and then there's some non-essential amino acids that your body can make, and you don't need to take through the diet. So the essential ones are the ones we can only get through the diet. So are they important? Yes. If you're getting enough protein and are not in like a hypocaloric state, are they important? Not really. I
Yeah.
really don't feel like the data is that powerful. The only
Okay.
times I've seen them work is when someone is fasted and kind of in this hypocaloric state. So if you're getting enough protein, and for the bodybuilder types, I would say that is every 3 to 4 hours, getting some kind of bolus of protein, around 25 to 35 grams of protein. For the normal person, I would say just the typical athletic person,
Mhm.
3 times a day is enough to get a bolus of that 25 to 35 quality grams of protein. That would be an animal source. If it was a vegan source,
Yeah.
probably be more like 40 grams.
Yeah.
There is the idea of spiking your protein source with leucine, and then the ingredient that I brought to market I didn't mention before, called dileucine, is
Yeah.
an optimized form of leucine. It is radically faster, radically more effective than standard leucine. You can't take more leucine to get the greater effect. That's refractory is the science
Mm.
around that. So you can take dileucine and get more muscle protein synthesis, more repair, more recovery, and more muscle if you're taking dileucine, about 60% a greater
Okay.
muscle protein synthesis. So that could be something that I would use over EAAs.
And then what would creatine as well, obviously, play into that?
Great.
Just
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
not
And,
getting
and another one to take with dileucine, which is anabolic, is the other side of the equation, which is catabolism or muscle protein breakdown and inhibiting that. So I want to
mm,
promote anabolism, muscle protein synthesis. I want to prevent muscle protein breakdown. So HMB plus dileucine and creatine. Now you've got like the
mhm.
ultimate way
Terrific.
to repair, recover, and protect muscle, which is really important, not just for the bodybuilder or athlete, but certainly all of us that are aging. Sarcopenia,
Right.
muscle is probably the number one determinant of how long we live and how well we live. Look at Dr. Gabrielle Leon, like that.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
It's amazing. And I know a lot of women still unfortunately do shy away from creatine. Can you please speak to that one more time on how it's good for women? I say it all the time, but
Crazy. Some women worry about the water weight gain, some of these kinds of things. I tend to see that only in very large doses. So take 3 grams a day, and that can be even divided doses where you could have 1 gram 3 times a day or 1.5 grams twice a day. You can take it with food, that's fine. But again, for men, women, young, old, anyone,
yeah.
I would be taking creatine. I think it's foundational, should be in every multivitamin. It is powerful for anti-aging, anti-disease, maintaining muscle, maintaining brain, maintaining fertility, all of it.
Alzheimer, dementia prevention as well or help with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. There is data on, yes, Alzheimer's. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's incredible. Yeah, I say it all the time when people ask me certain supplements and I take that I'm like, it's a non-negotiable for me, creatine. So thank you for clearing that up. Okay, so Shawn, I want to be very mindful of your time, and we could like keep going forever and ever, but I just want to wrap it up with a couple quick rapid fire ones. If you're
Let's
game,
go.
awesome. And then thankfully we'll be bringing Shawn back on for a full
Yes.
lunch episode in Boise. So okay, so Shawn, what is the one supplement you personally never go without?
Ooh, that would probably be the L-ergothioneine that I mentioned.
Okay, good. And then if you weren't in this field, what would you be doing instead?
I love doing branding and marketing. I think there's a lot of creative aspects to supplements and building out the whole story, and working with a supplement company, but I love the branding stuff as well. So that's a big part of what I love to do.
Yeah, and you're such like just a creative person. You can see that come across on your socials too. Like it's just you're fun to watch. So so good. Okay, then another one is what is one belief that you've completely changed your mind about in the last 5 years?
Psychedelics. I mean, not to go too deep here, but I used to think it was for druggies.
Yeah.
And my entire life, I thought it was terrible, like terrible, escapist, damaging, sinful, a lot of different things that I
Yeah.
thought. And I have completely and radically changed my my thoughts and understanding on those. And we could do a whole show on that, it truly saved my life and changed my life path pretty radically.
Yeah. That's incredible. I would love to go deeper on that with you. Maybe we can do that in August. So that's because most people do have that preconceived notion of exactly what you had said. So that will be
Yeah,
good. And to helping rewire the brain if we are stuck in maybe some of those negative thoughts.
exactly.
Oh man. Okay. So Shawn, I am just grateful for you, for the wisdom that you constantly put out into the world and your hard work. And we're just so grateful that you came on today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you please remind people where to follow you and learn all of the things and what's launching on July 1st if they missed that in the beginning?
Yes. So at Shawn Wells, ShawnWellS, you can go to my Instagram and I have a lot of content there. And then ShawnWells.com. I have the newsletter, I have the course, I have the book. So much of that content is free on there. The newsletter is free. We go through all kinds of studies and break it all down. And when you go to my Instagram, as you said, we talk through stacks, myths, all kinds of new ingredients coming out. So, yeah, just at Shawn Wells, ShawnWells.com, ShaWN.
Mm.
And you can message me as well if you have any more questions. I would love that.
Yes.
Oh, and the chorus, sorry, yes, is
Yep.
launching July 1st. So that's really exciting. Based on the book, The Energy Formula,
Mhm.
there's got to be tons of supplement stacks as well as mindset and nootropics and
Mm.
biohacking and testing and all of the things. It's going
Oh
to be
my
really
God.
exciting.
Well, make sure we'll get those links from you so we can help promote that as well because that's incredible. How long is the course? I'm curious.
Uh,
You have so much wisdom.
30 hours. And
Wow.
you can kind of choose your own adventure. So
Okay.
it's really an amazing course where you can kind of choose what to dive into and what not. So I'm just excited for people to go into it. There's a wealth of knowledge here that I just want to pass on, and I want to protect people from buying the wrong things, from making the mistakes, or even putting themselves in danger
So true.
by taking some of these supplements out there that are harmful.
Supplements or prescriptions that maybe they shouldn't be taking or could switch to something different possibly. So it's a master class basically of Shawn Wells's brain.
It, exactly. You'll become the master formulator after
Oh
the
my gosh.
course.
Yeah, I wish. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much, Shawn. So we will have this recording available very soon. So we'll make sure to drop that in Life Network and we'll be bringing Shawn back on in August. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shawn, for being with us today live. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a great day.